What's up, everyone? Bryant Cook here, and today we're playing Lotus Field Combo. A lot of you have sort of complained on previous Pioneer videos that I'm not uploading Lotus Field Combo. I wish I could say that I was sorry, but it's okay. There are other decks out there that you are allowed to play. I think it's fun playing Jeskai Ascendancy, Neoform Combo, or even every once in a while New Perspectives. I'm still trying to find a way to make New Perspectives work. Not super successful yet, but maybe one day. But I digress. So Lotus Field Combo. I'm glad that everyone wants to watch these videos. I truly am. But please understand that I'm trying to add a little bit of variety to the Pioneer content here. But for today, you're getting what you want on this lazy, cold Saturday in Syracuse, New York. All right, so recently there's been a banning in Pioneer. They removed Expressive Iteration and Winota. So we no longer need to play anything like March of Swirling Mists in the sideboard. We do still have this Anger of the Gods, but we don't have to play removal. Well, what does the format look like if Expressive Iteration and Winota are gone? I'm guessing there's a lot less aggro decks, so I'm okay with cutting the March. And with Expressive Iteration, we lost the tempo deck out of the format, so to speak. There's still spirit strategies, but I think Izzet was really just like the true tempo deck. Not that Spirits isn't, it's just a little bit different. So how does that change things? I think decks like Azorius Control are going to come to the forefront as the premier decks of the format, and we are looking to beat Azorius Control. There's also a few other decks that I'm having my eye on. Rakdos Midrange, for example, the Mono Green Ramp deck, which I'll be completely honest with you, we are never beating. So if you get paired against Mono Green Ramp, sign the match slip, concede the match, do whatever you got to do. We're not going to beat that deck. Sometimes you just can't beat everything. And dedicating sideboard slots to these miserable matchups is sort of a wasted effort. And then there's the Grease Fang decks. So these are what I'm eyeing or guessing are going to be the premier combo decks of the format. Or, I'm sorry, the premier decks of the format, not combo. So Azorius Control is really what I'm gunning for, because I think that this deck beats those other strategies outside of Mono Green Ramp, and I think Lotus Field Combo actually beats a lot of the format. So let's focus on matchups that we can actually improve that, could use the help. So Azorius Control, in my opinion. We are playing a basic forest specifically for Field of Ruin. That way we have something to go get. And then this build has to care about Narset. So a lot of the other builds out there, the ones with Emergent Ultimatum, they can exist while beating a Narset on the table. So you might be thinking, well, why don't I play that list? Sure. There's nothing wrong with playing different lists. You do you. That's completely fine. Sometimes that is the correct choice. But I think that list in general suffers from being, I don't want to say a worse deck, but a deck that is easier to interact with. So effects like Besiege You on the Omniscience can be really, really backbreaking, for example. And they tend to care a lot more about effects like Mystical Dispute because they do play large blue sorceries, for example. So they're a lot more weaker to counterspell, so to speak. So I'm looking to solve that with this list. I don't care about Besiege You that much. I don't care about counterspells as much. The only thing I really care about is Narset, but I've built my deck to answer the Narset, which is what I'd like to discuss with you here today. So we have two main deck, Otawara Soaring City, that can bounce a Planeswalker, so you can go get that with your Sylvan Scrying or find it off a Shimmer. I don't really care. And then on their end step, you bounce it, you play this Leer that makes your spells uncounterable, you go to town. And I was previously playing Leer probably a handful of videos ago with Mystical Dispute, and I just realized how unreliable that was due to it says spells can't be countered, including your opponent's. So I moved away from Mystical Dispute. And with opening up sideboard slots today, we get to play Thought Distortion again. Although I do think that Thought Distortion comes at a price because Narset's Reversal is incredibly popular right now. So there's a chance if you cast this Thought Distortion that they're just going to blow you out of the water with a Narset's Reversal. So it does have some risk associated, but it's going to plow past a bunch of Dovin's Vetoes and Absorbs and everything else. I think this card is really powerful, and notice this spell can't be countered. Otawara can't be countered. Leer makes spells uncounterable. Pretty good. And then our win condition, Niv-Mizzet Parun, this spell can't be countered. So we're really, really focusing on bullying the Azorius control deck. And then this last one, Fry. This spell can't be countered. This is our primary answer to Narset. So if we can't draw cards, we have, the Otawara that I've already mentioned. Well, we have 3 Fry in the sideboard. So we get to bring in Fry. Well, hold on. We get to bring in 2 copies of Fry against the Azorius control deck, and then leave the 3rd in the sideboard to go get with Wish, which is another main deck answer we have to Narset on top of these Otawaras. So the current board plan or board strategy against these Azorius control decks are you board out a Boreal Grazer and then Brawl Chief of Compliance, and you get to board in 6 spells. So 2 Thought Distortion, 2 Fry, 2 Niv-Mizzet. I don't think that Brawl is bad in the matchup, but I have experienced some of these Azorius control decks leaving in things like Portable Hole against me, and it just blows my mind. So I'm just looking to dodge that, or March of Swirling Mists. So if you're going to leave those cards in against me, I'm going to try to punish you, because at least that way, March requires a ton of mana, or them removing multiple cards from the game. So this is my board plan. That's my strategy for the matchup. I hope you stick around and watch this video with me. Ideally, we'll get paired against some of these Azorius control decks and just bully them. So let's be the bully today. Let's shove Azorius control right into the locker, and I hope you enjoy it. So I will see you in the first match. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match on the play. Alright, so we've opened up Green Source, we have a stage. We're really just lacking the Lotus Field here and then a payoff. I think I'm going to keep this. I know it seems a little bit risky, and a lot of players like to mulligan hands without access to Lotus Field. That's fine. But right now, I think the format slowed down a little bit with Winota leaving, so I'm going to see how this shakes out. I don't think that this is necessarily the right play, but I'm interested to see how it goes. So I'm going to play this Bala Ged Recovery and pass the turn. The most popular deck in the format, by the way, is, so we're facing red-green, is, I lost my train of thought there, the Rakdos mid-range deck, which also punishes you for mulligans, which was on my mind. Alright, so we've played our turn 2 Brawl Chief of Compliance. Let's see what the opponent's up to. Ooh, so they're on the Jund's deck. A little bit scared of that because of Citadel, but we do have this Beseiju to potentially answer Citadel. Ding! You'll love to see it. Grab that field. Okay. Pass the turn. It's worth noting that our opponent cannot put a Citadel into play this turn, if they're even playing it. Really? Our opponent just snap conceded. Let's see what our draw step would have been. Alright, and then I probably would have just played the stage and then held up Beseiju. So we'd untap and draw into Lotus Field. I would cycle Vizier after that into Boros. So I would have passed the turn. Okay. So we're facing Jund. Jund's Sacrifice, to be specific. One of the nice things about this list is that you do have Fry for a lot of the creature decks in the format. Unfortunately, this is not a matchup where that has relevance. So you can't really board this in against Jund. But if we got paired against a deck like Humans, I would board in the Fry. So we're facing Jund's Sacrifice. I should bring up a recent list. All right, here we are. This is a recent list from a very good player, former pro, and you'll notice it has 4 Karn the Great Creator in it. That does, get some pretty powerful cards here in the sideboard, like Damping Sphere. Boros' Citadel. They have 4 Thoughtseize. I don't know if we actually want to board in the ley lines. If we bring in Leyline, we're probably taking out the Grazers. Just some thought. I don't know if I hate that either. Just make sure that we don't get discarded. And then maybe take out this for 1 Niv-Mizzet. I think I'm okay with this. Gives us a little bit of flexibility here. So by boarding in the 1 Niv-Mizzet, I get to beat an effect like Necromentia if our opponent is smart enough to name Wish, for example, like if they knew that I was on a wish list. And Leyline stops, Go Blank, and Thoughtseize, and a bunch of those other things. So we've opened up the Niv, and more importantly, we have access to Lotus Field, so I'm going to keep this. Sure thing, you can have a Tormod's Crypt. Draw. I don't actually care about Crypt that much, if I'm being completely honest. So they did not have Turn 1 Elf. That's a good sign for me. Turn Timberer and Elf. Okay, draw. Shimmer. So there's some thought here. If you're just trying to be fast, you want to Sylvan Scrying for Lotus. But if you Shimmer first, you could potentially hit 1/2 of your combo and then use Scrying to get the other. I think I'm going to try Scrying here because it's not like I really have a play that I want to do next. Well, I guess in theory, next turn I could just play Vizier into Niv in consecutive turns, which is pretty interesting. Or I could just slam Niv next turn. So I could go Loaded, or next turn, hypothetically, let's just talk through this. I could go Sylvan Scrying for Lotus Field. Next turn, untap the Lotus Field, 4 mana. Hidden Strings brings me up to 5/6, and that's Niv-Mizzet. Alright, I've talked myself into this. I'm going to go get Lotus Field. Oh, never mind. I'm a dummy. I can't do that. I completely forgot I had already played a land that turn. Sorry, I went too deep into the tank. Alright, opponent's on 4 now, so what are you up to? Thoughtseize. 3 cards left in hand. I'm glad that I played the Scrying. It's worth noting that, granted, I didn't open hand it, but if I did, the Leyline of Sanctity shuts off effects like Tormod's Crypt. What is this? Alright. Fight Rigging. It's a 2 and a green for an enchantment with Hideaway 5. Hideaway says, whenever this enchantment enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile one of them face down, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you can play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. It's interesting. Draw. Wish. So let's float some mana. Play Lotus Field. So I could untap the Vizier into Wish, but Wish doesn't actually get me anything here. You'll see that it's not doing us a whole lot of favors. So I think I'm actually just going to pass here. Opponent's on 2 cards. And next turn I could always play Niv-Mizzet as well. Alright. 2 cards, 5 lands. Or 5 mana, I'll say. Ooh, no! That's brutal. That's rough. Really, they took the Vizier. They could have taken my Niv-Mizzet. Alright. Sure. I was afraid of the Niv-Mizzet take there. Alright. Draw. So I want to think through this. So if I tap these 2, that's 4 mana for blue. And then I untap with Hidden Strings into Niv. Yeah, this works. Yes, yes, no. Red, blue, Niv-Mizzet. Okay. Cindervines. I don't care about that anymore. So they get to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, so now they have a 4/4 Llanowar Elf. If they attack, Troy do that permanence controller. What could they possibly have in hand that punishes me here? I don't know, but I'm also not going to risk it. I'll just take 4. No need to potentially risk messing this up. Alright, so we'll draw a card. We get a trigger. I'll deal 1 to the Valky. And this is going to give me back my Vizier, which will allow me to cast Pore over the pages, which will kill this Llanowar Elf. Okay, so let's cycle. Okay. Draw. I'll deal the 1 damage at the elf. Pore over pages. I'm going to auto yield to the Cindervines. Auto yield here. Okay, and now we put a whole bunch of triggers on the stack. Let's discard the Mana Confluence. 1, 2, and 3. Let's auto yield there. Land for turn. Blue. Play a Baral. Hidden Strings. I'll take a damage off this. Save targets at them. Yes. And yes, I would love Decipher. Okay, so I don't actually have an answer to the Cindervines in my hand, but I'm not actually worried about this. We have a lot of wiggle room here. There's some options in our sideboard, like we could get Lear and replay a bunch of these, which would allow me to then something scrying up the Beseiju, but I don't think that's something I actually want to be doing. I could also play Wish right now, which would turn on Peer, and then Peer later to just shotgun them for a ton with the Niv. But I think I'm going to start off on Shimmer. Alright, love the Vizier pickup. I'll take a Pore. Cycle this. Okay, now they take 1. 4. We get to float a mana here. We take another one, and there's all 3 ley lines. I think I'm going to win this one, so I'm just going to show it to them. And now we have Peer into the Abyss, and I can cast it. So this would put me to 8, and then I lose half my life, and they can sacrifice the Cindervines. That said, they're going to take 17 off my Peer. So let's just do that. This Biss. Machine gun. Ah, you love to see it. And I win the match. How about that? We are 1-0 with Wish Lotus Combo. Get out of here, Cindervines. You're not good enough. Neither is this Tormod script. I couldn't Lear. Correction. I'm sorry. A little bit of misinformation out of me there. The Lear line would not have worked for Sylvan Scrying for Beseiju because they had an onboard Tormod script that I forgot about because in my mind that card didn't matter. But we got there anyway. Deck's super good. I'll see you in round number 2. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Round 2, our opponent has revealed a Gigantha the Wellspring. I'm not really sure what that means at the moment. It could be Niv-Mizzet. It could also be something like the Insult Artifact decks. Who knows? But I have a pretty good hand here, so I'm going to keep this. What's the verdict? Den of the Bugbear. Not a whole lot of information there. Hey, Ketria. I actually really like drawing the Ketria Triome because now I'm not priced into playing either one of these lands to sacrifice to Lotus Field. Okay. Still not quite sure what they're doing here. Are you just an aggro deck? Okay. Draw. Scrying. Okay, so I'm gonna go get an Otawara here. Just a little bit of backup. Pass the turn. God's willing. Discards Reckless Rage. Okay, so I think that this is just the Boros Prowess stack. Will our hand be fast enough? They put a card on top with their Scry. They have 2 mana open. And now this creature attacks for 2. I'm sorry, it has double strike. So it attacks for 2, double strikes, it's 4. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay. Draw. Wow, what a huge pickup. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Okay, I'm going to play the field. Play the Grazer. Put stage down. Pass the turn. So they do have a God's Willing in the graveyard, so they can give their creature pro green, which is relevant, don't get me wrong, but it creates another speed bump instead of them just, being able to plow through easily. So if they get that creature up to an 8, I'm dead. Okay. That's 6. The God's Willing is 7. I could be dead here. What's their last card? So they attack. Oh, this is better because it not only kills my Grazer, it pumps this up as well. So I go to 1 here, I believe. So this is 14, 15, and now I'm at 1, which shuts off Peer into the Abyss. Wow. What's their last card? I could be dead here. Okay, I'm at 1. No Peer into the Abyss. Draw. Wow, that was a huge pickup. Okay. We're going to see what I can do. So we'll tap this for blue, tap this, copy the field. I want to be able to view this sideboard. I think we're on the Lear plan this game. And if their last card was a second copy of the Reckless Joy, I would already be dead. So we know that, or Reckless Rage, so we know that they don't have that in hand. Okay. Now we play the Pore and make 1 mana. We're not quite to Lear mana yet. That could have been better. So I have Baral, but I don't think that does enough here. We also have Den of the Bugbear. So I can play Brawl and hope to be able to block this thing. But I'm dead to... Actually, the Dreadhorde on God's Willing kills me. Because they just give it Pro Blue. Interesting. Wish into Leer. I don't have enough mana for. I might just be dead. I'm just trying to think through all of my options. Let's just start on tapping this. I'll play the Brawl. So I could like wish for Fry twice. That's 6 mana. That doesn't work. Alright, so my only possible line here is hoping that the opponent messes up. So we're going to pass and hope that the opponent uses God's Willing on this creature. I mean, you have to sometimes just hope that your opponent messes up, but this is what we've got. I'm also dead to that. Okay. They got it. So we will go to the next one. Alright. So on the play, I would have felt better about that game, but we were on the draw, unfortunately. And I don't think we're actually supposed to sideboard here. We just resubmit. Our board isn't really set up for this matchup. Like I mentioned, we got rid of the marches. We were acknowledging being a little bit worse against aggro decks in order to be better against Azorius control. And I think that we can beat aggro decks as long as we do our thing. Unfortunately, they're the Pore. The Boros was a good pickup. The extra wish, not so much, and we didn't need another land. So just needed probably a hidden strings off that Pore, and then we could have played wish into Leer, and I think it would have been smooth sailing. Okay, game 2. I think that this is fine. We don't have Grazer, but we have Shimmer to help dig for Lotus Field. We have Wish that guarantees Lotus Field as long as we can find a red source. Okay. Den of the Bugbear and passing. Wow. Well, how about that? We just need to find any land now off this Shimmer. I'll take the backup stage. So what stage does here is it allows me to play Lotus Field next turn without having to wait a full turn cycle. So I think that's pretty interesting. And there's the double striker again. Draw. Okay. Pass the turn. Defiant Strike. They discard a maximize velocity. This deck's pretty sweet. Hard to be upset. Like, this is just a really sweet synergistic deck. They're tanking here. I wonder what the thought is. They can jumpstart the maximize velocity, although I don't know if that's what they're looking to do. They also have not played a land yet. Alright, so they have jump-started the maximized velocity, and they discarded a land. That's pretty interesting, because they haven't played a land yet. And there's their land. And another Defiant Strike. So this is going to go up to 7. And they'll get in for 14 damage. Wow. That's impressive. So, yeah, I'm at 6. Draw. Alright, I'm going to cycle the Vizier here. So I could just leave up Otawara, but I have to bounce this, and I'm at 6. So if they have anything else, I'm just sort of set behind, and drawing another Vizier was certainly good. Let's cycle the Vizier. Love that mana. Draw. Beautiful. That was actually just perfect. So we can play the Brawl here. They're tapped out. Alright, we will copy the Lotus Field and then Hidden Strings. We do not want a Cipher. So yes, yes, no. And now we can play Leer and flashback that Hidden Strings. Yes, yes. Alright, and it's sort of free to Cipher at this point. We'll put it onto the Leer, I guess. All right, so we're on 6 mana, and we have to find a way to win. I also have backup wishing to Fry to kill this. So let's start off by tapping this for a blue, and we can use the Shimmer. Beautiful. So by finding Pore, we actually get to cast 2 Pores here. Love to see it. And now we flashback the Pore. Okay, discard Forest. Pore over pages. You know, I hear all the time about how the Ultimatum build is faster, but I don't know. I'm at 6, so I can just take Pure here and easily win. Let's cast it. I'm at 3. Okay, 4. And the opponent's conceded. Alright, so we're going to game number 3 now. On the draw, I mean, I could board in Fries. Is that something I'm interested in doing? It does kill their creature. What's going to happen is I'm going to draw Fry, and they're going to open up on like a red prowess creature. I'm going to look like a real dummy. I think I should leave one of these in the sideboard no matter what. So the question is, would I rather have this over like 2 copies of Pure? And on the draw, I think the answer is yes. So let's submit this. This is a good one. For sure. Keep. Gigantha has been revealed. They have a turn 1 Swift Spear. Ouch. Forest. Forest. Another Grazer. Okay. Pass the turn. Alpine Moon. So now I get to play Lotus Field untapped. I do have to find an answer to the moon in order to win the game, but I don't have to sacrifice a land to this anymore. Sure thing. So they'll get in for 2. That's it. Okay. And I just found my answer. So is it better to play Grazer here and put a blocker into play, especially when they're on 1 mana, or do I just want to go get the... This is a tough call. I think I just want to go get Beseiju. Okay. They'll get 1 more turn of hitting me in the face with the Swift Spear. And they found land 2. Ouch. And they have the Virtuoso. Okay. I'm going to hide this Fry, because I can make them put cards into this before killing it. So I'll play Grazer and put another stage in onto the battlefield and pass. I'm going to let this go. Because if I decide to Fry, I can still kill this later. Let's see if we can get another spell out of this. And now we can kill it. Red. Get fried. And now I'll hit the F6 key. They discard a maximize velocity. 3 cards left in hand. I think I'm actually going to block the Grazer here, because I have a backup Grazer in hand, and I value not dying, so seems pretty free. Draw. Okay. So even if I hold open all of my mana for the actually that's not true. So if I end step, I can copy if I do it that way. All right, I'm just going to pass. I'm not going to play the Grazer. They know that I have a Beseiju. Another copy of Swiss Spear, okay. Homestead Courage, you've got it. They have 5 damage coming in. Ouch. I'll go to 11. Den of the Bugbear. They have 2 cards in hand. And let's give them another land. Okay, and I'm going to copy this Lotus Field. Let's see if we can party. And by holding on to the Grazer, I actually have an extra card to put back with the Valakut. That's a good one. Alright, so let's start off by cycling Vizier. I don't know what they could do with 1 land, maybe Wear Tear, but I don't care about that card. So right now we have 1. Oh, I guess they could have Reckless Rage for... Sorry, I'm going to mute real quick. They could have Reckless Rage for Leer. That could be what they're representing here. So we have 1 mana and then 8 mana, so that's 9 plus 4 is 13. All right, and we have a land drop if we want it as well. So we have 14 mana. That's more than enough to wish into Pore. All right, so let's cast this Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Red, colorless, cast Wish. Okay, tap this for blue. That's 7 mana, 7 beautiful mana, and I will target myself with Peer into the Abyss. Another feature of this deck is, even when you board out Wishes, you still have access, or when you board out Peer into the Abyss, you still have access to Peer via Wish. So that's really nice. Alright, let's cycle here. I think we're going to try to go as far as we can without giving them a target for the Reckless Rage draw. We have another Vizier there. Untap. Draw. Let's Pore. Okay, discard a land. And another Vizier. Beautiful. Who doesn't love drawing cards? Draw. And there's a Leer. No Baral in here that I see. It's actually what I was looking for there. Yes, yes, no. We will Shimmer again, or I'm sorry, Hidden Strings again. Ton of mana here. I think we can just win the game. So Wish into Niv-Mizzet is 9 mana. And then if we want to try to win the game with Valakut Awakening, it's 12 mana. We have 12 right here. And then 15 mana. So I actually have back-to-back Valakut Awakenings to rock them. So let's do it. Play the Niv. And then we'll cast Valakut Awakening. Auto yield. And Niv lives through the Reckless Rage. Save targets at you. Auto yield. And it looks like it's going to resolve here. I'm going to keep the other one in my hand just in case. Okay, so we've selected a bunch of cards. We'll click OK, and Niv-Mizzet will shotgun them with a whole bunch of triggers. Get out of here. No March of Swirling Mist required. Boom. 2-0 over the red-white aggro deck with no dedicated sideboard. You'll love to see it. We also had a few fast wins. Just throwing that out there. Take that, Emergent Ultimatum. 2-0 going into match number 3. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot. everyone's favorite Stormwind condition. A Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, 8 Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. All right, welcome to the third match. I should find something different to say at the beginning of every video or every round because I say the same stuff all the time, but whatever. So we're on the draw. I have, a couple of these flip lands. I have a Valakut Awakening. So I don't have anything to put in Playoff Grazer on the first turn, but I still think that this hand is a keep. I have access to both Lotus Field and Thespian Stage. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means. Draw. We'll just play a Valakut Recovery here and pass the turn. I'm sorry, Valakut Sanctuary. Bishop of Wings. So they're the Angels deck. I faced this recently in the Ascendancy video. I'm going to go get our Lotus Field here, pass the turn. I have to imagine that game one's pretty favorable for us, but they are a fast clock. It might not look like it, but they can get pretty big fairly fast. Ooh, they have the Book of Exalted Deeds. So this is rough because if they have Mutavault, I think they lock me out. Draw. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what the play is here. So if I do blue-green, play Lotus Field, untap it with Vizier, I can scrying into Thespian Stage and play Grazer this turn as a blocker. But is that worth burning the Vizier? I think the answer is probably yes. Alright, so we'll play Lotus Field. Alright. Cycle. The last build I faced of this deck did not have the Book of Exalted Deeds. Draw another one of those. That's interesting. So I've already played my land. I think I'm supposed to just scrying into the Grazer. Now we play the Grazer, put the stage onto the battlefield, and pass. Hope they don't have it. And they do. So they cannot lose the game. Actually, I have Alpine Moon. Does Alpine Moon get around that? I wonder. I'm going to play this out because I think Alpine Moon might get through this. So let's cycle here. I don't know. I'm going to find out one way or another. Okay, so we'll copy Shimmer. Pick up a Vizier. Oh, I also have Beseiju. I can blow this up with Beseiju. I am not worried about that. Okay. I'm going to try the Alpine Moon first, though, just because I'm curious if it works. Pass the turn. Collected Company, okay. You've got it. They're on 3 cards in hand. We have this Beast in play, the Arboreal Grazer. You don't want to mess with that card. And Pure was a lovely draw, so we should have a pretty easy win here. We'll untap with the Lotus Field. That gives us 7 mana. There's our 8th mana, and now the Pore over pages is going to make mana number 9. So we'll have 2 mana floating post Pure. Discard a Grazer. We have 39 cards. So we'll draw a whole bunch here. 19 cards to be specific. And 2 hidden strings at the very end. Untap. Yes, yes, no. Tap this. We'll play a Baral. Hidden strings. Yes, yes, no. We'll cast Pore over pages, which generates 2 mana. Untap. Discard a land. I really do want to see if the Alpine Moon does the trick. So I know that I could Beseiju it. I'm not dumb, but I want to see if this works. All right, so I have a bunch of mana here. I'm gonna play the Leer because I want to be able to make even more mana. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and then we'll put it onto the Leer. All right, we'll add some red. Hidden Strings again. Yes. Yes. Sure, we'll cipher this too. Put it onto Baral. Alright, now we can tap these for a bunch of red. Cast Wish. Play the Niv. Play Wish. Save targets, I'll let them. Good deal. Cast another Wish. And I'll cast the Alpine Moon. Mutavault. Yeah, I lost the ability. Cool. So that should make this pretty easy then. Valakut Awakening. Alright, pause here while we wait for the opponent. And they conceded. Alright, so Alpine Moon works, but also we have this Beseiju in our deck, so we don't actually need to worry about the Mutavault. Although I guess it's still a land creature. I was trying to think if they turned into a creature, could the Beseiju hit it? And it doesn't say non-creature. It just specifies the types. So I just wanted to make sure for that as well. Okay, going to game 2. Fry seems like a pretty interesting card here. I think we can afford to take out Grazers. Grazer doesn't seem that amazing here. And then do we want anything else? Would we rather have Grazer or would we rather have something like Anger of the Gods in our main deck? I think, actually, do I want to put a Fry back here? Let's do 2 Grazer, 2 Fry. Let's do this up. Yeah, this hand's great. Keep. I think I'm going to keep the Triome around because I can potentially cycle it to look for an action spell. Because right now this hand has everything other than the action spell we need to win the game. Okay. Angel Beatdown. Draw. Alright, I'm going to try running out a Brawl here instead of the scrying for Lotus Field. See if I can speed up our game at all this way. They have Mutavault. Archon. I wasn't expecting that. That's sort of annoying. We did board in a couple copies of Fry. We found our action spell. We have 4 answers in our deck. I'm just going to play the field. That is very annoying. The second Archon of Emeria. Wow. I don't have Anger in my deck. So it takes multiple pieces now to beat that. I mean, it's possible. It's just really difficult. So now they get to attack for 6 in the air? Yeah. They actually have lethal next turn. Oh, well, they definitely have lethal next turn. Okay, so I've lost this one. Maybe we board in the last copy of Fry now that I've seen the Archons. Draw. Alright, next game. And I think I'm actually going to board in the Anger as well. We'll just take out the 2 copies of Grazer. Get out of here. Alright, I was blindsided by that. Not gonna happen. Let it happen again. I mean, my hand was good too. No complaints. They sort of just got me. On the play. Game 3. This hand's too slow. Yikes, going to 5. Mulligan. Okay, we'll keep this, get rid of the pier, and wish. Our opponent also has gone to 5. Alright, forest pass. Tap land, draw. Scrying for Lotus Field. Okay. Alright, so they have an angel. I don't know why I'm floating mana here. Pass the turn. We have an out to Archon already, which is nice, but we don't have any payoff and we don't have the Thespian stage. There's Archon. Ouch. Draw. That was really good. Okay, so we're going to hold on to this Fry. I'll get stage, play stage. So on my next turn, I can copy and Fry using the Vizier. We'll take 3 down to 16. Second copy of Archon, that hurts. I think I want to hang on to this Triumph. Okay. So they're going to combat. I'm going to untap. I'm going to get rid of one of these Archons. Okay, so we'll untap here. So I need to draw both an action spell and a way to get rid of this Archon of Emeria. We'll tap for red this time. Copy the Lotus Field. And then fry this dummy. We'll take 4, down to 12. Draw. Well, we found our action spell. We just need to find the next answer. I think I'm going to take the Valakut Awakening, because I can cast the Valakut on their turn. Running out of time here, though. The second Archon was really, really tough. Okay. So now they're attacking for 7, which means that I don't get another turn. So this turn has to do it. I have to find the answer to Archon right away. So we'll cast this Valakut, and I think I need both copies of Hidden Strings if I realistically want to win this. So we're only going to Valakut for 2. That didn't do it. Draw. I think we're dead. So what can I do here? Guess I can peer, or pour, I mean. So our first card would have been our next draw if I bottomed the one Hidden Strings. So I found a Fry, but I don't think that's going to be good enough to keep me alive here, because I can't cast it. And if I kill this, they attack for 6. Yeah, I'm just dead. I think they got me. Alright, have to pass. I needed Fry plus Otawara, I think. Or Fry. See what they do. I mean, they should swing out, but let's just make sure. Okay, we're dead. I will Fry the Archon. There's no way that I could live through this, unfortunately. Even if I hit this creature, I'd still take 5. So they got me. None of these are instants, and we are dead. So we are now going to be 2-1 to Selesnya Angels, surprisingly. So back-to-back Archons in both board games were good enough. It's a bummer. Sometimes, you know, that's what happens. Round 4 is coming up. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. We are on the draw again. So we've opened up one land, Lotus Field, double scrying. This hand is actually pretty stacked, assuming that you draw another land for Lotus Field. We're on the draw, we have 2 hits. I actually play an extra land compared to most people. I'm sort of tempted to test the waters here, but obviously if I miss, I get burned. It's a tough call. I think I'm going to be a little bit more disciplined here and just take the mulligan. Okay, this hand's great. Keep. Get rid of one of the extra Ketria Triomes and let's do it. Watery Grave. Draw. Alright, pass the turn. Grave number 2, and they're giving me a window to play the scrying here. Very nice of them. Okay, let's go get that Thespian stage. Pass the turn. Are they Esper Greasefang that kept like a really bad hand? What's going on here? Alright, we'll play this out. Typically, Esper Control doesn't exist in Pioneer, but there is an Esper Greasefang deck. Okay, well the Greasefang deck wouldn't be playing Shark Typhoon, so apparently they are Esper Control. Okay. Let's just immediately copy here, so that way if they are playing Field of Ruin, we don't get punished. Shark. 18. Draw. Picking up the Otawara for Narset was huge. They missed a land drop there, so I think I'm going to pass. Memory Deluge. Alright, so I think I am going to copy. Also, this gives me enough mana to next turn play Wish into Thought Distortion. Land number 5. Okay. Looks like they're just passing. Fatal Push. Let's play Wish. It resolves. Have your thoughts a little bit distorted. Womp womp. Boom, and a concession. Yes. Love to see it. Get wrecked. Okay, so we're gonna board these in. And you might be thinking, don't I want to leave one in the board for Wish? We just showed the opponent that trick, so now they're going to not want to, they're going to be more aggressive about countering it. So I don't think that actually makes a whole lot of sense. We really just want our wishes to answer in our set anyway. So like I mentioned in the deck tech, we're going to board out Grazer and then Brawl. We saw Fatal Push there, no need to give them targets. Brawl's fine, but this is also a slower matchup where I don't think the cost reduction is actually as important. Submit this. Just a deck full of things that say cannot be countered. I was thinking in between last round and this round about how I lost to back-to-back games where they had double Archon. In theory, I'm just going to mention this. I'm not suggesting a change. I would like to get that very clear. March of Swirling Mist answers multiples very cleanly for 1 mana. March would have answered double Archon, and I probably would have won one of those post-board games. That said, we're facing a control deck right now, and I really get to see the effectiveness of this Thought Distortion. So this is so close. If I hit running lands, this hand is actually the nuts. But I think I'm supposed to be more disciplined. Like, I don't think that it's realistic to just expect to draw multiple lands in a row, so I'm going to mulligan. Okay. Keep and bottom. Probably the Triumph, because I can cycle that later. They play a tap land, draw. It's actually kind of a bummer because now Field of Ruin doesn't get me a basic land. We're just not going to play into Censor. Play the Mana Confluence because if they play a Narset here, we can fry it immediately. Alright. No Narset. Draw. Lotus Field. Pass the turn. Castle. They're passing. I'm just going to copy. So now we have 6 uncounterable effects in our deck that I would like to draw. Either Thought Distortion or Niv-Mizzet. It's worth noting, like I mentioned, that a lot of these decks have Narset's reversal in them, so Thought Distortion can be a liability. And now they make another 2/2. Draw. 4. Let's try to Shimmer. I think we take the Pore. Let's look at our sideboard real quick. Alright, I'm going to cycle the Vizier just in case I draw one of the broken 6 mana spells. Draw. Land. Let's get a counterspell out of their hand, I guess. 4. Censor won't do it, so they have to use a real counter here. Make Despair. Or Make Disappear, my bad. I've never seen that card before in my life, but they got me with it. Interesting, you can copy it. Okay. It works pretty well with the tokens. We'll pass the turn. So they have 5 cards in hand still. They plus the Wanderer, so we'll take 5 down to 13. I don't know why my sideboard's so huge. That's a decent size draw. Okay. Let's try another Pore. I don't really have, like, the Wish Lie doesn't work because I don't have enough mana. Alright, so now we'll copy the Lotus Field again. And then next turn I can start the turn off with Wish. Make another Knight. We're taking 5 here down to 8. So next turn they have lethal damage. Assuming I don't fry one of them. This is a Teferi? Main phase Deluge. That's interesting. Alright, so now they have Absorb mana, or whatever mana. Play the land. Red. We'll cast Wish. See if this resolves. Alright, they do absorb. Now we have a window. So let's see if we can abuse it. Cast Pore. I'll finally draw the Thought Distortion now. Yep. Discard Scrying. Alright, what's Valakut Awakening? And I'm going to bottom these 2. I have to keep the hidden strings. Drawing 3. It's a bummer. So I can bounce a token to live a turn, but they're going to untap, and I just missed my window. So I think I'm going to concede here and save a little bit of clock. And I want to see what my top card is in case I bottom this last hidden strings. It's not going to let me. Alright, game 3. Just resubmit. I felt like that was a little bit of misfortune there. Game 3 on the play. Sure, this seems very reasonable. We need to draw a land, because if I go to get Lotus Field, I don't want to have to sacrifice this stage. Okay, Sanctum pass. Tap land, yep, draw. Okay, it is a land. That's all that matters, even if it isn't on curve. So we'll get Lotus Field. Pass. Thoughtseize. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. I think the correct pick here is actually the Valakut Awakening. Let's see what they do. They take Vizier. Okay, I'm fine with that. Draw. Okay, so we'll play our land, pass the turn. Next turn we have Lotus Field and copy it with Stage. Land number 3. No Narset. Maybe they don't play it. They haven't drawn it all match. Copy. Okay. Pass that turn. 3 mana to cycle our Shark Typhoon. They at land 4. They'll attack. We're at 19. See if I can find that, uncounterable effect. Did not need Lotus Field. Shimmer. Adawara, Balaged. I think I actually want the Valakut here. Although that would mean that both of those would be in the graveyard. See if this resolves. And it does. So I definitely want to get rid of Lotus Field. And I think Pier's a little bit of a trap here. So I want to get rid of those for sure. Then the question becomes, do we think that Lear will ever actually resolve? I'm not so sure. But I think it's worth keeping around anyway. So I'm only going to do for 3. Hello. That was good. Pass the turn. Alright, so they picked up the 4th. They have a Wandering Emperor. Yep. Exile's a tapped creature, so they're getting in for 3. Draw. And another Pier. I think I'm going to risk playing the Niv first. Because I don't want to get hit by my own Distortion, and I think if I play Niv, they're going to more likely be trying to dig for answers. Paying some sort of cost. Memory Deluge. They're letting it go. Okay. Now they're going to cast it? Oh, they're cycling Shark Typhoon. That's fine. Alright, they have 5 mana. Putting a +1 counter. You gonna swing out? Alright, I'm going to attempt to block here. I can't imagine that they have like a -3/-3 effect or something like that. I mean, if they do, I don't know what it would possibly be. Oh no! I didn't even consider that. Wow, I look like a real dummy here. Wow. Okay. Draw. Red, blue. I think that copy card could be a real pain in the butt here. Alright, let's try Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Alright, so blue for Lear. Please resolve. I don't know what they would have. I guess that copy card, and I would only have 1 mana floating. Dispute. That's a fair one. I haven't seen that yet. I'll pay for Dispute. Clear. Alright. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, yes. Put it on the Lear. Okay, and now I will cast Pore. Okay, let's get rid of this Sylvan Scrying. Cast Pore again. Okay, we can get rid of Ketria Triome, I guess. Cycle the Vizier. Actually, let's think about this for a minute. So 2 8 mana. I could play Pier. Probably better. So 9 mana. Pure targeting May. Alright, we'll cycle the Vizier. Untap. Draw. Hidden Strings. Yes, yes, no. Let's cast Pore. Untap, untap. Discard a land. Cycle Vizier. Pretty free to do here. We're at 15 cards in deck. We have to make enough mana to win with Niv. And there's the Niv. Alright, let's Hidden Strings again. Okay. Red, red. We'll Hidden Strings again. This deck makes so much mana. That's part of the reason I don't think you need Omniscience. Like, I feel like Omniscience is just like an easy I win button for people that don't want to do the work. Just because, like, yes, it's really nice to not have to think and you can shut your brain off, but as long as you're willing to do that little bit extra, you don't need the card. And now we have back-to-back Valakut Awakenings to end the opponent. Okay. Save target, sell at you. Go to the front of our hand. Alright, so we'll get rid of a bunch of cards here. Alright, I've selected a bunch. Let's see if this is lethal. It probably is. And if it's not, we can always cast more spells. It says draw 21, so 21 triggers on the stack. That's how we do. Alright, 3-1. Technically, this deck is blue and white. It's sort of Azorius, really Esper, though. Thoughtseize was certainly interesting. We never saw Thought Distortion in post-board games, but hey, we got there. 3-1. One match left to go. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. The final match, match 5 for the 4-1. We're on the draw again, but we've opened up a really solid hand. Hard to be upset about this. And it looks like Azorius control again. Okay. Play this out, and hopefully we get them to waste some counterspells on these scryings that don't actually matter. Draw. Alright, tap this for a blue. Sylvan Scrying. Counter it. Do it. You know it to be true. Okay. Pass the turn. Land 3. See if we can get them again. Scrying. We don't actually want this to resolve. Ah, I did. Okay, so I think we just get the other Otawara. Lotus Field, and we'll sack these. Pass the turn. Another Hallowed Fountain. Draw. I'm just going to immediately copy to play around Field of Ruin. And you could play out the Grazer and then like put a Thespian stage into play, but we're a deck that runs Valakut Awakening, so if I draw one of those, I could potentially cash that Grazer in for a new card, which is something I'd rather do. There it is, Field of Ruin. Draw. We'll play the stage. If they decide to try to blow this up, we'll just copy our field. Okay. Draw. Let's try a Shimmer. I think the play here is Hidden Strings. And I will pass. Alright, let's copy here. And they can have their Memory Deluge, I don't care. I think next turn we do the Wish into Thought Distortion play that we did in the previous round. Another land, 7 cards. Draw. Let's try a wish. These kids never learn. Get distorted. All right. Love to see it. Okay. So that worked. Let's try our same boarding strategy we had in the previous round. Get these grazers out of our deck. And then take out the brawls. Easy peasy. Alright, game 2. We've opened up one land, Lotus Field. We're going to mulligan. Interesting. Keep, and I think we just bottom the wish? Okay. Load fountain. Draw. Play stage pass. Draw. Okay, how about that? I think I'm going to hang out of the Otawara just because of Narset. So I realize that I'm probably going to end up sacrificing these stages even though I don't want to. Recycle Shark Typhoon. Okay. Well, he can't cast Narset off that. Draw. Okay. Let's see if this scrying resolves. I mean, this is a pretty juicy counterspell target. There you go. That's what I wanted to happen. They're on 6 cards. Now they have 2 blue. No Narset. Okay, so we'll play Lotus Field and immediately copy it. Sacrifice and pass. I can't believe the Iganjo got me, though, in that one game. Like, I just couldn't see it. I was like, what possible effect could they have to punish me here? That's a mistake I will not be making again. 5 mana. Looks like a tough. So that punishes my Niv-Mizzet a little bit. Alright. Draw. So I think I'm supposed to hang on to the Niv-Mizzet. Pass the turn, because if I can play Niv and then cycle a bunch with like Viziers and stuff, I can maybe kill the Tef naturally. Or get the Tef down so much that the negative doesn't matter. They have 7 cards. Certainly not in a great spot. Okay, 7 cards. Draw. Another stage. Alright, I'm just going to start off on the Niv-Mizzet. Do you have an answer? Deluge? Okay. So they might have like an Aether Gust or something if they're digging. Does Niv resolve? Does. Cool. So I think I'm going to just cycle. I don't want to play stage yet. I want to get a little bit more info. So now we draw. I will ping this to Fury. Picking up another Vizier there was really nice. Untap. Draw. Well, that was really good. Alright. Ping the Tef. Up to 5 mana. Vizier. Untap. Draw. Ping Tef. 3 mana. Let's cast the Valakut Awakening. So I get to draw a card here. Ping to Fairy again. Let's see if this gets countered. It does not. So we can put some cards on the bottom here. Definitely getting rid of the Beseiju, the stage. Honestly, I think I'm going to ditch the Otawara too. Alright, so I'll draw 4 here. I get 4 triggers. 1, 2, and then at them. Okay. Let's Shimmer. Hidden Strings was a good one. Take a Pore. Hidden Strings. This one's probably going to get countered. They have Jawari Description, Censor, everything else, and they just conceded. Really? You had nothing that whole time? Okay, so we got the 4-1. The only match we lost was to double Archon of Emeria. We bullied the blue decks, which is what I wanted to do with this list. Everyone knocks the wish list because they think it's worse against Narset decks, but hey, we beat 2 of them in back-to-back matches. We never actually saw a Narset, but we were ready both games. We had Fries, we had Adawara, we have Thought Distortion, which really improved those game 1s, and then the Niv-Mizzet being uncounterable just kind of slammed the door. So, do you think that we should improve the, I don't even know what to call that, green-white Angels deck? Probably not, in my opinion. I think our Fries double is removal there, so I think that's good enough. March of Swirling Mist ends up being a little narrow. So you might be looking at the deck list and thinking, well, you never once used Leyline of Sanctity. Sure. But like the Rakdos mid-range deck is literally the most popular deck in the format according to MTG Goldfish. I don't think you're allowed to cut the ley lines there. And for what it's worth, we did board it in that one time versus the Jund sacrifice deck. We just never found it. So those are my takeaways. I would not change a single card in this list after the league. I thought it was great. That's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope you have a terrific day. See ya. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.